Recovery is infusion of recovery principles in all aspects of service delivery, recovery-based training and support for mental health professionals, and tracking and reporting and analysis of recovery outcomes in all mental health programs. Peer support is fidelity to the evidence-based model, incorporation and expansion in all mental health programs, and living wages and ongoing professional development and opportunities for advancement.
Okay. What Access does, well, actually, we do this through research. We research what's going on locally and at the state level, and we bring that information out to the folks at the local level and the state level. And we actually, one of the things that we're going to be doing this year in the next couple of years is doing advocacy training. And once we find out what the needs are out there in the community based on your local needs, not our needs, but what's going on in your community, we'll work with the various folks, the ambassadors especially, to train them on how to be advocates for their local needs. And one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to educate folks, stakeholders, various stakeholders at various levels on what those needs are and how we can mitigate those needs and to make it more of a consumer-friendly system. And we're going to engage people at various levels where they're at the local level, at the CBO, community-based organization level, at the state level, at the legislative level. We're going to be working with you as ambassadors to get your voice heard at those different levels. Access ambassadors frequently asked questions. One of the things we're going to post on our website is a document called Frequently Asked Questions, and it'll be similar stuff to what we're presenting today, but we're going to have the recording on there and that sheet that you can refer back to in case you have any questions that we may have not touched upon enough of giving you enough information. You want more information. What's an ambassador? An ambassador is a mental health client consumer. That's one of the requirements, is that you do have to have that lived experience. We're hoping that you can provide insight and guidance on mental health policy matters, not only at the state level but at the local level. That's where where the stuff really happens, because every county has different needs at the local level, and we want to know what those needs are. An ambassador is going to attend Access-sponsored trainings and state-level events, and we'll explain later how we're going to pay stipends for that and also pay for the travel costs. Perform local-level outreach, engagement, and advocacy. You guys know your community better than anybody else. You know better than I do. So one of the things we're asking you to do as an ambassador is we'll reimburse you with stipends and travel to provide to go to the local level events, and also to connect us with local level events so that we can market and promote advocacy in those areas that you live in. Serve as regional representatives of the Access program. One of your roles will be to actually represent NorCal Mental Health America and the Access program in the region that you live in, and also at the state level. And recruit and train other stakeholders in their communities. One of the things we're hoping to do is you will be the catalyst for advocacy in your community, and you will connect us with other folks in that community that are interested in becoming advocates also, and we can provide local trainings to those folks to strengthen their ability to be stronger advocates. Our ambassadors employees of NorCal. Someone's asking, how many ambassadors are you looking to hire? And actually, what we're going to do, we'll answer that in a little bit, a few slides ahead. Are ambassadors employees of NorCal Mental Health or the Access program? No, they're not. Let me get more into that. Hold on, let me get my notes here. Access ambassadors are not employees of NorCal Mental Health America or the Access program. Ambassadors are volunteers who participate in certain program-related activities. And even though you're volunteers, we will be providing with the stipend and with travel reimbursement. Do ambassadors get paid to participate in the Access program? Let's see. Yes, they do get paid, and it's a contract basis. It's ambassadors receive stipends for performing specific training, outreach, engagement, and advocacy activities. Okay. Access also pays ambassadors travel and lodging expenses to attend certain Access-sponsored events. These assigned activities are limited in number and narrowly defined. Ambassadors can certainly perform more activities as they are assigned and become stipend. Oops, I have to mute somebody here. Hold on a moment. There's a noise in the background there. Here you go. Sorry about that. Let me give you a list of the different activities we're going to be doing. Okay, let's see. Like one of the activities is a mandatory that you attend an Access Ambassador Orientation webinar. That's on December 6th from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And that's once you're chosen as an ambassador, and then we'll for attending that 1 hour seminar webinar, we will reimburse you $20 for your time. Then after that, we're having a 3-day ambassador boot camp in Sacramento to basically learn some real basic advocacy skills and what your role will be as an ambassador. And that's from February 20th of next year to February 24th, and it's 4 days, but it's actually 3.5 days. And what we do is we'll reimburse you for your cost to travel. We'll pay for your travel, and we'll also, at the end of your completion, if you complete the 3 days, you'll get $500 as a stipend for attending. Okay, next one is you have to participate in 2 quarterly advocacy webinars. Those they're an hour long. Each one's an hour long, and they're $20 each. You'll get reimbursed for. And I got it. We keep on seeing this thing pop up here. Hold on. There you go. And those are on February 7th, 2018, and May 2nd, 2018. And they're different dates. And what we'll do is send you if you go to the application, it has the dates on there. Participate in 2 local advocacy activities. Those are $75 each that you'll be participating in. You'll conduct 2 local stakeholder networking meeting trainings, and we'll pay you $50 each, plus any travel costs associated with it. Participate in 1 state-level advocacy activity in Sacramento, and that will pay for your travel, and for the day, we'll pay you $150 for participating for the day. And you'll attend 1 annual Access Advocacy Conference in Sacramento. That's a full 1 or 2 day conference, and we'll reimburse you $150 plus travel. And that's going to take place in August of 2018. Only trained Access ambassadors can perform assigned ambassador activities and receive stipends for their participation. Individuals who have not attended the mandatory ambassador orientation bootcamp cannot perform the work of the Access ambassadors. Let's go ahead and take any questions with that. If anyone have any questions so far on that? I'll give you a minute to see if you want to type in any questions. Okay, I don't see any, so we'll move on to the next thing. How will ambassadors be paid for their activities? Hold on a moment. Let's see. Ambassadors must submit specific documentation verifying they have completed their assigned activities before Access can issue their stipend checks. Access will explain this documentation and how to submit it during the Ambassador Orientation webinar on December 6, 2017, and at the Ambassador Bootcamp on February 20th to 24th, 2018. So we'll get more information on that, but there will be a process where most meetings you go to will require that you have you provide an agenda that you add, maybe a sign-in sheet if you can access that, and then you submit your paperwork, and then we send you a check for that for the meeting. So it's going to be pretty simple. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible, and we're also trying to keep it web-based so that it won't be so much mailing back and forth things. You can just do everything online. Okay, how many ambassadors will be chosen? Someone asked that earlier. Okay. 20 ambassadors. There's going to be 3 individuals from each of the MSSA regions, the Superior, the Bay Area, Central, Los Angeles, and Southern, to serve as primary ambassadors. Okay? And then there's going to be 1 individual from each of the 5 regions to serve as an alternate ambassador. So there'll be really 4 folks from each region. We're getting lots of applications. We're really excited about that. But the only way you can do this is if you apply. And so we can evaluate who's going to be the best fit for this program. Once again, there'll be 20 ambassadors, 4 from each region.
3.
Well, 3 and 1, 4. So 3 primary. Okay, let's see. What skills and qualifications are we looking for? It's a good question. Let's see. Hold on a moment. The minimum qualifications are ambassadors must identify as client consumers, as we said earlier, Have some mental health advocacy experience at the local level. It could be even with the. It doesn't have to be like at the state level or anything like that. We're going to train you on that part. It could be just maybe you're on the mental health services stakeholders committee. It could be a subcommittee experience, but some experience where you've actually acted as an advocate in the mental health world. Understand how the public mental health system works. Hold on a moment. Let me clear that out. We want to make sure that you know how the system works and you've been part of the system, so that you can know where the needs are, where the strengths are of that system. We want you to possess basic computer skills. You don't have to learn how to you don't have to be able to do websites or do Facebook or anything like that. As long as you can email, you have hopefully a smartphone or some kind of phone where you can access us. We can call you. We have to be able to get a hold of you. You have to be able to open up emails that we sent you, that type of thing. Have access to reliable transportation. Now, that reliable transportation for some people can be maybe you have a really good bus system in your county, or maybe you have a friend that can give you a ride, or maybe you have your own car. So don't think that if you don't have a car that you can't do this, because you can, because we will support you in that effort. We're not going to deny you the ability, the access to the Access program because you don't have a vehicle. We'll find a way to travel for you to travel. But as long as there's some kind of system in your county where you can access transportation, correct? Ambassadors must be comfortable speaking in public. Do you want to address that real quick? No, you're okay. Okay. Comfortable speaking in public. They have to be able to talk about, their personal experiences and they have to speak up for people that are what's going on in their county. So we want to make sure they're comfortable in that. Be able to coach and train others. You're not going to do this alone. There's going to be people in your community that's going to support you, and you're going to support them. So we want to make sure that you can train them and coach them and support each other, and be comfortable doing that. Be familiar with recovery and peer support principles. Believe it or not, there's some people that are advocates in our field and don't believe in recovery, and I've actually encountered that recently. But so we want you to be familiar with recovery and be supportive of the recovery process and peer support. Be able to share their lived experience, and that doesn't mean you have to tell your whole story. You have to be able to just, when appropriate, share what's appropriate or share what to get your point across. That was weird. And one of the things we need you to do is attend a mandatory orientation webinar on December 6th of this year, and a boot camp training for 4 days for 3 days in Sacramento in February. Ambassadors must be able to coach and train others also, and be familiar with recovery. We did that, okay. And desired qualifications. Some other desired qualifications we're looking for is that you have been in the public mental health system as a consumer, so you have that experience. That you are connected with your local mental health system, that you don't have to be receiving services currently, but at least you know some of the players there. Maybe you're part of the mental health board, maybe you're connected to the the Mental Health Services Act stakeholder committee, or one of the other subcommittees, or maybe even just you volunteer at the drop-in center there, and you're connected to that system. Experience conducting outreach, engagement, and community organizing. That one, we just want you to be comfortable because you're going to have to be speaking for NorCal Mental Health America and yourself as an advocate. We want to make sure you're comfortable reaching out to people and connecting people to various things. We're looking for people from diverse backgrounds, traditionally under or inappropriately served communities, and are fluent in certain threshold languages. We just want to make sure that we get a well-rounded group of people that represent folks from all walks of life, and from all different ethnic backgrounds and all communities. Ambassador commitments. Complete all assigned activities on time. That's one of the things you're going to commit to. Submit all documentation of completed activities on time. because we do have to submit them to the state for reports. Maintain monthly communication with the Access program. We're going to become such close friends, you're going to get sick of us. We're going to be in constant communication with you, and hopefully you'll be in constant communication with us. Address problems, challenges, or barriers as soon as they arrive. That's part of the reason for the constant communication. You know, we want to be supportive of you. We want you to be successful if you decide to be an ambassador and you've chosen to be an ambassador. So it's a team effort, and we want to make sure that we got each other's back. Disseminate program information and resources. We're going to be distributing a lot of information about advocacy, about different laws that are trying to be passed, different things you support, we support. We want to work together once again as a team, and so make sure that information gets out into the communities that we're working with. Represent the Access program at local mental health meetings, events, and activities. That's one of the most important things, is to be a physical presence there, to remind people that, you know, there's a consumer here, there's a peer here as an advocate, and that represents the ambassador program. So that's really going to be an important aspect of this job. How do I become an Access ambassador? Well, let's take a minute. Does anyone have any questions so far? I'm going to unmute everybody and hold on. Okay, so everybody's unmuted. So if you have any questions, you want to verbalize them, go ahead. Just say who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, hi, my name is Matthew McLaughlin. I'm calling from Porterville, California.
Hi, Matthew. I'm from Visalia originally.
Oh, right on. Good deal. Hey, I was just kind of curious, how does your corporation compare to, like, Kingsview?
Kingsview, I mean, gosh, yeah. In what way? What do you mean by compared to?
Well, I mean, is it kind of like the same type of organization?
No, they're more of a clinical they're more of a clinical model. We are a recovery model. Like I said, the majority of our employees and board members are consumers. So that's the big difference. You know, they're there for clinical services. We're here for peer support services.
Okay. Well, I've been trained as a peer support. I've been volunteering at the Porterville Mental Health for and I also was hired by Kingsview, and I worked with them for for about 6-7 months, and I recently just left Kingsview to get on with the county here in local. But I was actually referred to this call today by Julia from the Relias training from.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're on the call. So, did that answer your question?
I'm just kind of enjoying hearing about what it's all about.
Good.
I will be submitting an application.
Wonderful. We need more folks from your area.
I don't know if like the Porterville, Visalia area is like a strong area for you guys, or
it was the whole state. We cover the whole state, so we have folks from everywhere. Okay.
I got a question.
Anyone else have a question?
Hey John, I got a question. This is Christopher Barton.
Hey Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Thank you for doing something that's very informative. I like getting the information.
Good.
My question is, the slide, there's what, 3 ambassadors and 1 alternate for the different regions?
Correct.
What happens if you fill all the ambassadors in each region, roll over in different regions?
I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me, can people that are not asking questions, please mute their phones so that I can hear the speaker?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So what was the question again, Chris?
What happens if you don't get enough applicants in each region? Do you plan on getting enough applicants so you'll fulfill each three ambassadors, 1 alternate to each region?
You know, that's a good question, but the thing is, our plan is to get enough. We have so many applicants already that I don't think we're going to have that problem. So, but that's a good guess. We should have a plan B, but we don't, because I don't think we're going to need that. We're going to have that issue.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Another question I have: ambassadors, is there room for growth into the Access program, or what's the difference between ambassadors and actually Access?
The Access Ambassador program? What do you mean?
Like an ambassador for Access to actually growing into working for Access?
It's the same as NorCal. A lot of our employees started off as interns here or volunteers, or did some stuff on a contract work in a different program, and now they're employees. So it's like anywhere else, if you do a good job and prove yourself, and there's a need and there's a opening, and you can take advantage of it, everyone's welcome to move up.
Because I volunteered at Crook Elementary years and years ago.
Yeah. Okay. And any other questions? So we can move on. If not, we can move on to the next slides. Okay. I'm going to put you all on mute again. Okay. So let's see. You should all be on mute. Okay. Let's go. Before applying, ask yourself, do I meet all the minimum qualifications? We went over those earlier. Do I meet most of the desired qualifications? Will any current barriers in my life interfere with participation? And what other desirable skills, qualifications, or experience do I bring to the table? And that last one's really important because at the end of the application, we actually ask you to elaborate a little bit more of anything we didn't ask. If you have any special skills or anything you want to add to make your application more desirable. So don't be shy. Let us know what your strengths are, what you're good at. Let's go next one. Can I commit to the program for at least 1 year? We ask that you commit for 1 year. It is a 3-year funded program. If you decide after 1 year you want to go to second year, then you'll go a second year and maybe a third year. But the time you spend on it is really up to you. And so you can roll over to a second or third year. They're open to that. We're open to that. You can apply online, which most of you, some of you already have, and some of you are looking at applying online. Deadline to apply is November 27th, 2017. The application takes about 25 minutes to complete. You can save your application and come back later to complete it before the deadline. So, if you start it and then you get a little tired, or, you have to go have some dinner or something, just save it and then come back to it the next day or whenever, as long as it's done before November 27th. And you'll receive a confirmation email once you finish the application. But make sure you check your spam folder, because a lot of times it does go to the spam folder or your trash folder or something. So make sure you look in that folder so that or you can also contact us and say, hey, I haven't heard anything back, what's going on, and we'll be more than happy to respond to you, any questions you have. Oh, that's fancy. And then,
so I just wanted to add, so there might be some folks on the call that might meet the qualifications, may not meet the qualifications, but are unable to commit at this time. And we want to let you know that even if for folks that don't become an ambassador for whatever reason, there will be plenty of opportunities to become involved. And we can link you with the ambassador in your region. But I didn't want folks to think that if you're not an ambassador, there still aren't going to be plenty of opportunities for your involvement, because we really need as many voices throughout the state as possible.
I also want to remind people, what if, life happens, maybe you have every intention of being the greatest ambassador there ever was. But there's stuff going on in your life maybe that you think about, like, my kids are, going through some stuff, or I'm going through some stuff, or I'm having car trouble and I don't want to deal with something else more, or maybe I went back to school or something, or, I'm starting a new job or working part-time and don't want to put more on my plate. So evaluate your ability to commit before applying. And there's not going to be any penalty for not finishing 1 year. If you do get accepted and you start off gung-ho and then all of a sudden stuff happens, which it does, then we'll look for another person to take over for you while you get your stuff taken care of. Access will reassign activities to other ambassadors in your region. That's why we have three permanent ones and one alternate. Three primary and one alternate. And alternate ambassador can be moved into a primary ambassador role if you drop out. So that's why we're doing that. So do consider what's going on with your life if you want to apply, but also don't think it's going to be don't make it more of a challenge than it has to be. Okay. If you need help, you can always contact me at this number here, and there's my email. And also, if you email me and if you want to talk to me directly, just email me and I'll give you my cell number, but I just did put it on the slide. So let's do it that way. And then Do we have any? I'm going to unmute everybody if you guys have any additional questions. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, you should all be.
Hi, this is Ty.
Go ahead.
Tracy.
Hello, this is Frank Chopping from Sacramento.
Okay.
Is membership in a particular board or commission?
I'm sorry. What was the question? You're cutting out, Frank.
Member of Sacramento.
I'm sorry. You're cutting out, Frank.
Health Service. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you keep on cutting out. Are you on a cell phone? Why don't you can you type it in? That way you can answer it that way? Okay, let's do the chat.
I don't see how to.
Okay. Let's go on to the next question until Frank clears up. So anyone else have a question?
What's the funding from this from?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, who was that? Asking what the funding was?
That was Chris from Sacramento.
Okay, it's through the OAC. We received a stakeholders contract that was funded back last May, wasn't it? Yeah, and our contract started in September. So it's Mental Health Services Act money through the OAC, the Oversight and Accountability Commission. Okay, good question. Anyone else? Any other questions? Hello? Okay, well, I guess not. Andrea, do you want to say anything before we close out?
No, just thank you all so much. We're happy that you all were able to join us today. And if you have any further questions, here's our contact information. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, and I think if you join us, we're going to do some great things. What was that?
I said, thank you, John. Thank you, Andrea. It's been informative.
Good. Frank, I'm sorry. Frank, I'm sorry we couldn't get your question. I think you were asking if there was a conflict with being on other mental health committees in the county. Is there a conflict with that?
We'll have to get back.
We'll have to get back on that. That's a good question to add to that frequently asked questions. And the other question we had also offline was how it affects your SSI, and we're going to research that and put that on, and we'll put that in the frequently asked questions also. I got an email on that one too. Okay? So thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Daniela.
You're welcome. Who's that?
This is Joy Torres from Orange County.
Hi, Joy. Okay, well, have a wonderful day. Thank you all. And
Hi, Joy. Thank you.
Keep in touch, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.